So I want to kick things off with a question for you. What silent power unites world-famous athletes, politicians, and A-list actors? It kind of sounds like the setup to a grand mystery, right? But it's actually something hiding right in plain sight. We are talking about a very specific, totally silent gesture used repeatedly by the global elite. It's a posture you've likely seen on television, in magazines, or during major speeches, without ever realizing its profound significance.
Just take a look at this list. We've got Cristiano Ronaldo, Donald Trump, Vladimir Putin, Brad Pitt, Al Pacino, Johnny Depp, Travis Scott, Richard Gere, and Andrew Tate. Now look, regardless of your personal opinions or politics regarding any of these figures, what's genuinely fascinating here is the sheer diversity of the group. I mean, we have athletes, actors, musicians, and political leaders from completely different spheres of influence, and they are all utilizing the exact same silent gesture, a gesture that is historically associated with immense power and unyielding authority. So you have to ask yourself, what do they know that the rest of us don't?
Okay, let's get into Section 1, Bioengineering, our electrical body.
You see, to really understand the why behind this gesture, we have to strip away all the mysticism for a second and look at the human body as what it truly is, a masterpiece of electrical engineering. The body functions through this incredibly complex dance of electrical signals. At a cellular level, you are basically a walking power grid. Your neurons, which are the fundamental building blocks of your nervous system, they don't just, passively talk to each other, they communicate using actual electric impulses. These impulses race through your nerves to your muscles, literally telling them to contract so you can move, speak, and even breathe. Even the rhythm of your beating heart, that's controlled by a built-in electrical system, ensuring its constant pulsation. You are quite literally electric.
Moving right along to Section 2, Fields Within Us, Dielectric and Magnetic.
So to understand how a simple hand gesture actually does anything at all, we first have to define the unseen energetic forces operating inside of us right now. Let's break down the first of these. A dielectric field refers to your body's capacity to hold an electric charge and store energy in its cells, specifically within the cell membranes. This creates a sort of polarization within your body's matter. Now, if that sounds a bit overly technical, think about it this way. Have you ever shuffled across a carpet in your socks and then felt that sudden, sharp, static shock when you touched a metal doorknob? We've all done it. Well, that everyday zap is a direct physical manifestation of your body's dielectric properties at work, storing energy. Now for the second force. A magnetic field is generated anytime you have moving electric currents. And because your body is constantly bustling with moving charges, like electrons racing down your nerves and ions crossing those cell membranes we just talked about, you inherently generate magnetic fields. And look, this isn't just some wild out there theory. We use this biological fact in modern medicine literally all the time. An MRI machine, or magnetic resonance imaging, works precisely by utilizing these exact magnetic properties inside you to create those highly detailed images of your internal organs.
So if we put these two forces side by side, we see some very distinct roles. The dielectric field stores energy in your cells. It acts a lot like a battery, holding potential energy and creating polarization. On the flip side, the magnetic field is all about flow. It's moving that energy via electric currents throughout the entire body. The human body absolutely requires both, the storage and the flow of this bioelectricity to function optimally.
Let's tie this together in Section 3, Energy Circuits, Biological Mudras.
Okay, here's where this bioelectricity connects right back to those world leaders and celebrities we saw earlier. Mechanistically, mudras act as powerful biohacking tools. It's a three-step process. Step 1, you position your fingers in a specific mudra. Now, when you do this, you aren't just making a casual shape with your hands. Actually, scratch that. It's way more intentional. Because Step 2, you are effectively aligning your body's dielectric and magnetic fields. You see, your fingers are packed with nerve endings that are highly electrically conductive. By connecting them in specific, deliberate ways, Step 3 occurs. You close an electrical loop, creating a targeted energy circuit. You are intentionally routing your body's electrical currents to completely influence your own physical and mental state.
Which brings us to the main event, Section 4, the Uttara Bodhi Mudra, Upward Energy Flow.
The gesture we've been talking about is called the Uttara Bodhi Mudra, and it translates to the upward movement of energy. Now, this isn't just a symbolic gesture of pointing up for the cameras. Mechanically, by interlocking the fingers and extending those index fingers upward, this mudra acts as a highly targeted circuit. It actively directs your bioelectrical energy upwards, channeling those stored and moving currents straight toward the brain.
And here is the absolute climax of what we're exploring today. The source describes this mudra as an active connection leading to the awakening of intellect or consciousness. So by directing that bioelectrical energy upward, this specific circuit is incredibly efficient at activating your frontal lobe. And why does that matter? Well, the frontal lobe is essentially the command center for our highest cognitive functions, things like intense focus, rapid decision-making, and pure intellect. When you stimulate this area through this targeted energy circuit, you project that immense power, clarity, and unshakable authority that we so often see in those world leaders, top-tier athletes, and iconic actors. They are quite literally, physically, switching on their peak intellectual state.
So, the massive takeaway I want to leave you with today is this. The human body is an absolute marvel of electrical engineering. And ancient traditions? Well, they simply found a way to flip the switches long before we had MRI machines to prove exactly how it worked. Recognizing this gesture connects you to a tradition as old as humanity, yet as contemporary as today's headlines. So will you tap into the secret code that unites body, mind, and success? The power to master your own bioelectricity and apply this ancient, highly scientific tool is quite literally right in the palm of your hands.